and you're like blurting it out, like you can't stand not saying
right.
it.
Like he'll think you're a nut job. He'll run in the other direction, my mother said. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. The words of the wise. Yeah.
I know.
Except that.
But, I mean,
Except that, and someone really loves you, they stick with you and they help you work through your issues. And maybe, so I think, so, one way I think some guys could, laugh, or you can watch how he could react. You could make some kind of joke about it. Like, it's so funny whenever I call you on Thursdays, what do you have another job you didn't tell me about? Just something, just so you can somehow get some kind of response or answer instead of like, what the heck are you doing Thursdays that you can't, at the same time that you never answer your phone, right? Which is what I would say. But, don't model after me. It's taken me a while to speak my mind and be with a person that knows I won't mince words. So, but it's taken several years for that. But, I don't know. Dean, did I do that right off the bat? I don't know if the cameraman's here to get Dean on the camera. No. But
did you do what?
I've been talking lately in the circle about communication and communicating authentically without creating harm and with more equanimity and not being overly emotional. But there's just sometimes you just need to be heard, and sometimes it doesn't sound rational, but it doesn't mean that we're meant to stifle all this stuff in our energy field and carry it around and repress it and make ourselves sick over it. So this communication has come up a lot with you. And I was just asking Dean, I can't remember, we've been together about 4 years. I pretty much would just blurt out whatever, even if it was an accusatory tone. I've never had a lot of tact, to be honest with you, when it comes to...
Oh, really?
My ex-husband always said, well, you don't have good delivery. So, but, and Dean, you've said the same thing. If you just said it differently, I think I'm getting a lot better at it because the trust has really improved. But,
right.
But what I'm saying is, it's just I feel like the right person just kind of gets you after a while. Oh, there's Michelle, and he loves you. With that high upon high and the, the creative, sensitive, emotional part of us, the artistic side. Let's face it. Some artists have a thing, a temperamental artist, right? People that hold a lot of creative energy are usually very passionate people. Okay, so along with this equanimity and being attached to outcome, that's a wonderful thing. At the same time, on the earth plane, we are expressive people, right? If you take that paintbrush and express something, or write something, or say something, we're expressing ourselves. So finessing that and fine-tuning that is wonderful, but sometimes you just got to blurt it out. You blurt it out, and then then you get to see how the other person handles it. But now, let me just ask you, I feel like a detective right now. So, is it like at 4:30 every Thursday, and then you hear from him at 7?
No. No, not at all.
So what's the pattern here? Because you did say something like, every Thursday.
Well, I remember, I think it was the second time I spoke with you.
Yes, I remember.
You remember that?
I do.
And the relationship was really new.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard from him, but then I heard from him. He texted me. I think he had texted me while I was talking to you. So after we hung up, there was a text from him.
Yeah.
But then, there is no rhyme or reason. It just seems that, I think around this time, I don't. But I know he went to karate at 1:00. He said.
Okay. A timeline here. Karate at 1.
Right. I know, but this is what I don't. It's just like when I was in my 20s, I had a boyfriend from Toronto, and I moved to Toronto, and it was like I felt like all the women walked off the cover of Cosmo magazine, and I felt really insecure, and I was really jealous, and I really, and it was caused a problem in our relationship, my jealousy. So I did a lot of work on myself with it, and I've definitely come a long way. And I know that jealousy can really ruin a relationship, and so I have a big fear around that. I don't want him, So I think if it was
you're watching it. You're watching it. I get that.
Yeah, so. I'm watching it. Yeah. But, so I just don't want him to think I'm a psycho jealous.
So, but let me ask you though. So what's different about the Thursday? So you call him at 4:30. Or text him? Did you leave a message, or what did you say?
I just texted him and said, what are you doing?
Yeah, and you haven't heard back. And so
And I haven't heard
the
back.
pattern
And normally
is
he
writes right. Normally he writes right back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd wonder too.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, he's not working. After a while, you do get to know somebody. I know, when Dean's working and, it's like rush hour at work. I know there's certain times during the day I'm going to text. But if I know he's at work by himself early in the morning and I text and I don't hear back, he'll get a call. What are you doing? I mean, it's just...
Right.
He doesn't care at all. He does the same thing to me sometimes. I haven't heard from him for a while, but...
Yeah, and Eric
you
does
should
that
know
to
what
me
each
too.
other are doing. What's that?
What's that?
You should know what each other are doing. You want that comfort, and you do need to know. So you got to find this out. Another one of your conversations where you're gonna be like, "I know he's fine." I almost see like a joke. What'd you get, a second job? Seems like every time I call you, it's Thursday at 4:30. You never answer your phone. Ha ha ha. Right. And then then he'll have to say something. Then he'll have to say. Then he'll have to say it, and then he'll have to respond to it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe I'll wait a couple of more weeks and notice on Thursday afternoons.
You're gonna leave me hanging here. You're gonna have to email me, tell me what the heck the guy's doing Thursday at 4:30.
Maybe.
Dean wants to say something.
Maybe he's being coached live on another TV program.
Yeah, right.
Does he know what you're doing Thursday at 4:30?
No, I haven't told him.
Oh boy. Well.
Well, I mean.
That should be a conversation. Yeah.
I know. No, I think he would. I think I have a book, a tantra book.
Right.
And it's really good. It's The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tantra.
Perfect.
That series of books, The Complete Idiot's Guide, right? And so it's really good. And so I was reading it to him on Sunday. We were in the car, and I was really happy that he was very open to it. Open to the my cell phone's ringing. I bet it's him.
Oh, I bet it is too. He's gonna wonder what you're doing.
Yes, it's him.
Okay.
So.
Do you have to go?
No. Yeah. See ya. Hate to leave you hanging.
What are you doing, Michelle?
Dean.
Let's read some cards by myself. I gotta back up here. Oh dear.
Well, now I feel better.
Yeah, good. But he didn't answer your question. He didn't text back. The call is good,
he
though.
didn't.
We won't complain about the call.
Oh, he'll tell me. He'll tell me what he was doing. He is really good. He's been really good. He is.
So the point is, it just brings up any feeling that you have that if there's any mistrust, insecurity within you, that's a button that gets pushed if he doesn't respond in the time frame that you think he should.
Right.
All right, which I agree. Right. I agree. So you got to work on what?
Trust.
Get into that. Tune into that.
Dean wants me to tune into that. Okay.
Tune into what?
Insecurity and trusting and
not
feel. That is one of the worst feelings. I've struggled with that so much myself that I should be an expert because
I know, and I do too.
It's like Dean was in California when we first got together, and we had that's talk about a long distance relationship. And when I called and he didn't answer, I mean, every now and then. The thing about Dean, as opposed to anybody else in a really long time, it was like I never really got sick to my stomach the way I would with other people. So that is, you know what I'm saying? I didn't go that. It never got that bad. He was just so in pursuit. He's very communicative, and that's one of the main reasons why it's one of our strengths. Yes, exactly.
Eric is like that too. I mean, like I was telling him the other day, that that he's been a great boyfriend. Like, and
yes, I said that to Dean one time too. You're a really good boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, he has called me every day since the day we met. since the night we met.
Wow.
He called
Oh, my
me that night,
gosh.
and he's called me every day since.
Oh, please.
And now, and now it's a few times a day, and text,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we do
and
too.
I love you, and you're beautiful, you're a goddess, I mean, he's awesome like that, and I still have like a little insecurity and trust.
Okay. Let me tune in. So,
Okay.
Mr. Dean over there. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Just for anybody's watching, as a psychic intuitive, I'm able to, when I close my eyes, get information for the people that I'm working with. I might hear or get information for them to help them with whatever issue that they're having. So that's what I'm doing when I close my eyes. I'm tuning in and see what I hear to give an answer, hopefully for Michelle. Okay, so hold on. And when I close my eyes, I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions to her higher self, spirit angels, and the masters of light to give us information to help her on her trust and insecurity issues. So hold on. Well, the first thing I closed my eyes, I saw was a stop sign. It's actually a little block that you put up to and they just show me the stop sign. So emotionally, we have emotional bodies, physical bodies, mental bodies, and spiritual bodies. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So I'm hearing in the emotional body of your psyche, and that's why it's not like all of you or feels like it's a really big thing, because spiritually you may be feeling fine, or physically you feel good, and mentally you're like, I'm feeling sharp as a tack. But in your emotional body, there's a part of you in your energy field when they just showed me the stop sign. So I can close my eyes and ask for more of that. But are you following me with me? Like, that it doesn't really have anything to do with Eric, but in your emotional bodies. Let me see what else is going on with you putting on the brakes for a minute. Okay, hold on. Well, they remind me different times in your life when you've used different things to anesthetize hurt or pain, like clutter in some way was a barrier to protect yourself, or taking the prescription medication was something that you used to potentially block yourself from pain.
Right.
So when you start to feel trust or insecurity issues, you get that feeling in your stomach, and it's not rational, right? It's not completely rational. But the emotions are rarely rational. That's what I'm saying. It's not in your, it's not like every part of you is, in terror, fear. Oh my gosh, something terrible is happening. But it's subtle enough that you're putting on subtly. You're working on your emotions right now. It's a part of your journey and your soul lesson where you're still. And again, they're reminding you that the moon and we're made up of water. The emotional body is watery. You understand? They're showing me like Pisces, the fish, and. Do you understand that emotions are related to the element of water?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really good news. It's just a part of you that's working through some of your past issues where in other times when you felt emotional pain, you found ways to attempt to block it out. The TV watching was one of them.
Yeah.
You distracted yourself. Okay?
Right.
So underlying everything that's going on that's really good, I believe that you and Eric will continue to heal each other, and he'll help you build your trust, because that's the point of a relationship. We really can't work through these issues by ourselves. We need to be in partnership and relationship to work on some of these deeper layers of issues that we have that are very buried, okay? So you still get some buried emotions. We all do. Again, this is kind of the point in 2012 to release the wounds and the scars and the if you can tell me right now your first memory of feeling a lack of trust is probably related to that. So let's go back to that. Whether it was like, for some people, maybe they had a divorced family and their dad said they were going to pick him up at 5 and he never showed up. You understand? I'm just saying for different people, can you tell me, going back in time, where you first had that feeling of mistrust? Can you remember what that felt like, or what it was, whether it was a boyfriend or a family member, or just that place where you went, oh, something's not right all of a sudden in my world?
Well, my first, my first boyfriend, like my puppy love. I was crazy about him, and